Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday, January 21st, regular meeting of the Sachem Board of Education. At this time, I'd like to call up the girls from Troop 2458, representing Grundy and Nokomis, to lead us through our Pledge of Allegiance. And if everybody could please rise for the pledge and remain standing for our traditional moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, girls. Great job. Great job. Okay, at this time, I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Larson, who's going to be leading us through our superintendent's report tonight.
Thank you very much, and good evening, everyone. I was able to attend College Information Night last night, so I just want to give a shout out to Ms. Corrigan and Ms. Capuano for running a great event. We had the auditorium at East more than half full, so it was a great turnout. So thank you again. I am going to jump right into, we have some presentations tonight, and first I want to welcome Mr. Butel, our athletic director, up to the podium, where we're going to start to honor our fall athletes.
Thank you, Mr. Larson. Exciting wrestling match going on at North right now. Is there in the league dual tournament to go to states? We have East right now wrestling Brentwood. When a bunch of us left the gym, it was 25-22, and East was coming back. And then the winner of that will face off against Sachem North. Sachem North is our #1 seed in the tournament. So a lot of excitement in that gym right now. So let's jump into this. Good evening, President Reynolds, members of the Board of Education, Mr. Larson, and members of the Cabinet. Tonight we are here to recognize Sachem's talented student athletes and some of our coaches from the 2025 fall athletic season. Overall, Sachem was recognized with many students receiving postseason honors, and all of our teams qualified for the playoffs and strive to achieve the goal of applying for a championship. What I want to do is first, we had some coaches this year, more than a typical year, who received accolades themselves. So I'd like to ask those coaches to come up to honor our coaches for receiving the honors that they got. First is Miss Tina Moon. Coach Moon is our Sachem East varsity field hockey head coach. She received the Marge Oster Division I Coach of the Year. Congratulations, Coach Moon. We'll talk a little more later, but she also led her team to an undefeated season and back up to states. I'm surprised they didn't give you like a big cup like the Stanley Cup. From Sachem North, our game day varsity cheer coach, Danielle Grisalfi, Coach of the Year, Class A. From Sachem East, our JV boys soccer head coach, Rob Salerno, Coach of the Year. And also from Sachem East, our JV head girls soccer coach, Coach of the Year, Alicia Doring. I just want to say congratulations to you all. You know, the accolades, obviously, it's nice to receive these accolades, but really, you know, we see you in and day out working with our student athletes. It's not just about games or prepping for there, but we know it's so much more that goes into, you know, making sure our student athletes have the best experience possible. And Sachem and myself and Phil, thank you for all that you do. Thank you very much.
gave you the golf kids' names.
Ryan Lamb, Cole Rosenzweig, and Dante Owens. Okay, they're here.
Next, we'd like to recognize two of our teams who went on very far in their select tournament this year. Our first team we'd like to call up is our Sachem boys golf team. They were League One champions, conference champions, and Section 11 finalists. Here representing the golf team is Aim Lamb, Cole Rozeweg, and Dante Allegre. They're coached by Anthony Falco, who unfortunately cannot be here to me in another prior commitment. But I will say, we all should have played golf in high school. What a great bunch of boys out there a few times this year in the golf course. Beautiful fall weather. Just watching their skills, and obviously, you know, it goes, you know, so much further than just golf and the skill itself. The relationships with each other, how they are with the other teams, the coaches, and the sport itself really shows what golf is about. So at the end, and if you guys want to speak a little bit, you can jump in the mic anytime you want. But at the end, we were at Pine Hills. You were at Pine Hills Golf Course, and they beat, I want to say this appropriately, beat the team that thought was going to go on because they had a really good golfer, and he choked and they jumped in because they played really hard. So they were battling Sayville at the end, and it came down, and watching them come down off, you know, down the ninth hole there, and it was tight neck and neck there. And I got to say, they really put on a great performance and really worked hard. I'm very proud of you guys, your whole team, for what you did there. So congratulations. You guys want to talk? You want to talk? And then they went to Chipotle after the game. Yeah, Tina want to talk or not? Does she want to call the kids? Next, we're going to call up the Sachem East girls field hockey varsity team. So this group here, undefeated Division I champions, Division I Section 11 champions, Division I Long Island champions, and a New York State semifinalists. You met Coach Tina Moon before, led by Coach Moon. Assistant coaches Kira DeMonico, Colleen Planter, and JV Coach Brooke Fallon.
The following girls were on our team this year: Casey Berger, Madison Campo, Julia Casimiro, Chelsea Chandler, Alessandro Curatello, Josie D, Emma Donahue, Alexis Donahue, Avery Falkman, Cassidy Faust, Abby Galvez, Kira Ganada, Colleen Hakes, Isabella Longo, Alexandra Malbiacu, Michaela Marcel, Isabella McCarthy, Ashley Miller, Mia Rivera, Carly Schick, Isabella Sharp Senior. Oh gosh, this is a tough one. We call her Giselle Isabella Sinclair, Marcelina Torre, Julia Voss, Brooke Wasson, Julia Wasson, and Colby Winthrop. We also pulled up 6 other JV players too, and Delina also is here today, Senior Sharp. So I want to acknowledge her as well. But there are 5 others as well. So they did a phenomenal job being pulled up.
You know, what's awesome for me is when we hosted the Long Island Championship and you guys brought it home on your home field. That was awesome. Way to go, girls. They are a fun bunch, too. So before we jump into the rest of our athletic accolades for our student athletes, I want to talk a little bit about our Scholar Team Awards. We were recognized by Robert Zayas from the New York State Athletic Association in the fall with 2 awards for academic excellence: School of Distinction and School of Excellence. This year, once again, 100% of our athletic teams were recognized by New York State as Scholar Athlete teams. It just shows that not only are our athletes producing in the sport of their choice, they're also excelling in the classroom. As I said, every team earned this recognition this year as a Scholar Athlete team for the fall 2024 season by the New York State Public High School Athletic Association. That accomplishment is based on each team having 75% of the roster having a combined GPA equal or greater than 90%. This is now the 2nd consecutive season that each of our schools have achieved this accomplishment. I'd like to call up Mr. Lou Antonetti to receive this first award, which is the School of Distinction as the principal. The School of Distinction Award is given to a school that has 100% of varsity athletic teams achieving the criteria for earning a Scholar Athlete Team Award. It goes without saying that our student athletes are excellent in the classroom while competing on a varsity team on the fields, the tracks, the courts, the gyms, the pools, the golf courses, the bowling alleys, you name it, we're there. We are extremely proud of our students, our parents, our teachers, our coaches, our nurses, building and grounds, administrators, and the Board of Education for working hard in order for our district to be successful and recognized by the New York State Public High School Athletic Association. This This is the third school year in a row that Sachem East High School has achieved this accomplishment. Mr. Antonetti, on behalf of the District 1, thank you very much. Keep doing the right thing over there. Keep the kids in class. Let us get out early for the buses. All right. Mr. Anthony just called Snow Day Monday. Yeah. Wait, we got double. I got so excited when Mr. Antonetti called it school day for snow. The other award, Sachem North has received a School of Excellence Award by the New York State Public Athletic Association. This award recognizes schools at which 75% or more of their teams have also achieved the Scholar Athlete Award status. This award is also based on 75% of the varsity maintaining a 90-degree higher. Accepting the award for Sachem North, and again, all the things that I said before about the kids' hard work, not only in the sport of their choice, in the classrooms, at home, from the parents, the teachers, the Board of Education, the list goes on and on and on, obviously to help all of these student athletes achieve their full potential. Is Mr. Pat Burke accepting as the principal of Sachem North? Mr. Burke? All right, now the reason we're here, the kids. We're going to go through a list of awards, honors. Some of it may be repetitive, as you may hear, but we're going to go through all the kids that receive postseason award honors, and that would be all county or higher. That was reported to us by the coaches to the various associations that give these postseason honors, Newsday, and etc. Starting off, Sachem East, varsity field hockey. As we said before, Scholar Athlete Team, division champions, county champions, Long Island champions, a state semifinalist, a coach of the year, leading them off, Casey Berger. Newsday, all Long Island team, all state. NFHCA North All Region team, Max Field Hockey second team, all region. Madison Campo, all county honorable mention. Chelsea Chandler, all county. Josie D, all state, all tournament. Alexis Donahue, all county honorable mention. Ashley Miller, all county, all tournament. Isabella Sharp Sr., Newsday, all Long Island second team, all state. Marcelina Torre, all county honorable mention. Brooke Wasson, Newsday, all Long Island team, all state. NFHCA North All Region team, Max Field Hockey second team, all region. From varsity football, East, Scholar Athlete team, Jack Martinez, all state honorable mention. Sal Sinacor, all division, all county. Boys varsity soccer, Scholar Athlete team, Don Marchito, all county 2025. Jackson Weber, all county, all state, all region 2025. Girls varsity soccer, Scholar Athlete team, Sophia Carpentino, all county. Carmen Goodman, all county, all state. Alaya Hollis, all county. Boys varsity volleyball, Scholar Athlete team, Derek Hansen, rookie of the year, all county. Dan Kozlowski, all division honorable mention, all county academic elite. Brett McKeon, all academic, all county academic elite. Logan Wilson, all academic, all county academic elite. Girls varsity volleyball, scholar athlete team, Hannah Barkin, academic all county. Abigail Christie, academic all county. Bridget Hanson, Suffolk Super 7, Newsday, all Long Island second team. Gabriella Rice, all county tournament, all county. Avery Thurston, all county tournament. Game day cheer, scholar athlete team, Emily Fusa, academic all county. Ava Godfrey, all county. Ava Schneider, all county. From Sachem North, our boys varsity cross country team, scholar athlete team, Matt Penna, all league second team, all county second team. Girls varsity cross country, scholar athlete team, Leah Nowakowski, all league first team, all division, all county first team, all Newsday Long Island second team. Varsity field hockey, scholar athlete team, Emma Pickett, all county honorable mention. Jacqueline Quirk, all county honorable mention, rookie of the year. Morgan Quirk, all state. Bella Sciante, all county. Varsity football, scholar athlete team, Luke LaRocca, all state honorable mention. Valde Pierre, all academic, all county, all state second team. Henry Sarro, all academic, all county, all state fourth team. Jake Sparrow, all county. Varsity girls soccer, scholar athlete team, Alexandra Tramella, all county, all state. Mia Savarese, all county. Boys varsity volleyball, scholar athlete team, Brian Cull, all county, Newsday, all Long Island, second team. Varsity, girls varsity volleyball, scholar athlete team, Kyle Dimena, all county. Game day cheer, scholar athlete team, Brianna Hunchuk, all county. Marissa Rowett, academic, all county. Hope Sanfilippo, all county. From our combined teams, boys varsity golf, scholar athlete team, league champions, conference champions, section 11 county finalists, Dante Allegre, all league, all conference, all county. Ryan Lamb, all league, all conference, all county. Girls gymnastics, scholar athlete team, Caterina Carbonano, all county. Girls varsity tennis, scholar athlete team, Alyssa Davis, all state. Emma Villacresis, all state. Congratulations to all of our student athletes here for receiving your postseason honors. We look forward to many good things happening for you in the future. In all seriousness, let's have a round of applause for all of our coaches who came out tonight. Appreciate all you guys do.
So next, we have a special guest with us. So if anybody was wondering why we have a little canine companion in the back here, I'd like to welcome up Nicole Kerber from our East Guidance Department to talk about our little furry friend.
Okay, so is this on? Can you hear me? The green light's on. Okay. So thank you for inviting me to kind of introduce Little Bear to the community and to the board. He's currently in training to be the next therapy dog at East, and hopefully we'll be able to rotate him and Bailey. Bailey's getting up in age. You know, she's going to be 5. So, and this little guy just turned 1, and he's been doing fabulous. So we still have a little bit more training to do. He has an assessment to take, and then he's all good. But I entered him into this contest, which was called America's Favorite Pet. So just on a whim, I entered him in, and I shared it with my friends and my family, and we've been voting, and he's had the #1 spot since the second day. So I shared it on my social media page, and then I reached out to administration and I said, can we make it a, Sachem community thing? It would be a fun thing to get him, out there, some exposure as the next therapy dog at East. And it's been taking off like you wouldn't believe. So at one point, Donnie Wahlberg and Jenny McCarthy are the hosts of this contest, and all the proceeds that I guess like through voting, all donations that they get and stuff like that go to an organization called Paws that helps like rehabilitate animals, and it's like a really good cause. So at one point we put this out on district socials, and I guess there were so many votes that Donnie Wahlberg and Jenny McCarthy said, like posted on his little dashboard and said, we saw your little guy breaking the internet today. So it was really cute and just something fun and to bring like Sachem community together and whatnot. So this is Little Bear. Yeah. Ed loves Little Bear. So he's really such a good boy. And look, he's very tired. Look at him.
Anybody have questions from the board?
Yeah. Any questions? Any comments?
What kind of breed? What breed is
yeah.
it?
He's a Shih
Shih
Tzu,
Tzu, right?
So he's hypoallergenic, non-shedding. So we kept with that theme. That also resonates in my house because I don't like tumbleweed going through the house, but he's been awesome. He really has. The kids love him.
What is the process to get Little Bear certified as a certified therapy dog?
So you have to go through the beginning stages of training, either anywhere, so we go to PetSmart, and you all the way from beginning to puppy training all the way through to advanced. Mm-hmm. He does need to know 10 things that he will get tested on through the Canine Good Citizen Assessment. And he just has to be okay with noises, okay with people, know certain commands, be well groomed, and then if he passes that, we do the Therapy Dogs of Long Island is the organization that we have Bailey certified and Oakley certified through. So we'd be going through them again. They have to do a home visit with us and a site visit. Okay. So just to see how he is with the kids and whatnot, how he is in the guidance office. So.
Okay. And he has a certain amount of hours out in different facilities to get that certification? There
is.
Yeah.
There's, I don't
pretty
know
extensive,
the exact.
I think. Yeah, I think it's pretty extensive.
It is pretty extensive. We have to go to like nursing homes because he has to be well versed in being able to like hear different sounds, see wheelchairs, things like that, So I've taken him to the VA with my father, which is nice. So
that's awesome.
Oh, look.
Can I just say thank you for coming on such short notice?
Of course.
I almost jumped out of my seat when I texted can we talk about him? And then Patty said, he's going to come to the meeting. I was so excited. So
Yeah,
thank you for coming on short notice.
of
And
course.
thank you to your father for his service to us.
Thank you. And thank you guys for having us and inviting us and for supporting the therapy dog, program here, because it really does make a difference with some of the kids, and it's like a bucket of sunshine in the building. You walk in, even the people that don't really love dogs or are not animal people, you can't help but smile. Like, you think they're cute, So, and he's just awesome. And he can catch a tennis ball like no other. And I will watch, he's going to drop it. Oh, yeah. All right.
He definitely brightened the board meeting.
I was going to say, can you bring him to every board meeting?
What else is there?
I know. He doesn't really like his sweatshirt, but it's pulled down. I'll give you a treat.
He's so cute.
He's like, I tried to.
Is that it?
So the poster that is on our TV screens in the boardroom here is being screen shared for the folks at home that are watching. So if everyone who is at home wants to go on and vote, you can scan that QR code. Again, anyone who rewatches the board meeting, I know a lot of our staff does, the following day, please go onto that QR code and vote for Little Bear.
Thank you so much. And thank you to the people who have already been voting, So we made it to the top 20. And now tomorrow night, they'll announce the top 15. So we started off with hundreds of dogs, and now we're down to, he's in the top 20. So let's see if he makes it. He's currently number 1. So I'm hoping he'll make it to the top 15. Then they narrow it down to 10, 5, and then a winner. So hopefully we'll take it. Right?
Let's vote, Sachem.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you again, Nicole. Next up, I'm sorry you had to compete with a therapy dog, Mr. McGuire, but we have Ed McGuire from J.C. Broderick coming to do a presentation on some of the testing we do around the district.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. Okay, great. So here to discuss the latest round of the lead in school drinking water test results. This is the 3rd cycle of testing since the law was enacted back in 2016. The most recent amendment was in 2022, where they made a couple of changes, which included reducing the action level to 5 parts per billion, down from 15 parts per billion. But I always like to start with the end result first, and I'm happy to say that the Sachem School District is in full compliance with this regulation. And what that means is that all active drinking water outlets meet this action level, meaning all test results for all active drinking water outlets are below the 5 part per billion, and all of the notifications have been met, including to the local health department, the state health department, the community, and also the website holds all of the test results that have been taken to date so far. There we go. So as I was saying, there were a couple of changes from the last round of testing that happened between 20 and 2021, and that is that the lead action level was reduced. And in addition, we now have to test every 3 years rather than every 5 like it was before. So the next round after this round is in 3 years. This Department of Health has also updated their guidance document, essentially some procedures on how to carry out this testing and other than what the regulation specifically said. And that was that several outlets, such as bathrooms, science faucets, hand wash outlets, and sinks, don't need to be tested as they were before, provided that there are provisions in place to educate the occupants, such as signage, to say that the district does not wish these to be used for cooking or drinking. Think of a science lab. First rule of a science lab is no eating or drinking in the lab. So there's a provision in place, and therefore that outlet does not have to be tested as a drinking water outlet. So part of this was conducting a comprehensive inventory throughout the district. This was an update to the inventory that's been conducted before. Each outlet is identified with a unique code so that there's no confusion between my company as a consultant, the facilities crew, any plumbing or mechanics that need to be involved in any repairs, so that every outlet is uniquely identified and there's no confusion. That photo to the right shows that the bottle fill station has a separate outlet code from the water cooler below. And this is not just on your drinking water outlets, it's on hose bibs and hand wash sinks that are not tested because they're not used for cooking or drinking. But again, they're included in the inventory so that we can maintain records specifically saying that they are not applicable for testing. And if you look at the picture on the right, that's an example of one of the signs in place notifying occupants not to use that for cooking or drinking. So the summary of this inventory is that just under 3,500 outlets were included in the inventory throughout the district. Of those, 2,542 are deemed to be non-applicable, meaning that their use is not cooking or drinking. Think about all those hose bibs, custodial sinks, the science and art room classrooms, that these are not intended for cooking. So those add up. Out of those, so that leaves 953 outlets that could be used for cooking or drinking, 575 of which are classroom bubblers or other water fountains that have been out of service since COVID. So we've tested 378 active outlets. 307 on the first pass met the action level, meaning that they were below the 5 parts per billion. 70 exceeded the action level of 5 parts per billion. So for those 70, the remedial action plan goes into effect, meaning that those outlets were immediately removed from service or otherwise restricted for any cooking or drinking use while the facility staff investigates each one of those outlets. And at each one of those outlets, there's a variety of options. It is performing maintenance or service of that outlet, replacing the entire fixture, permanently removing it because it's extraneous, or in some cases, it's determined that that outlet is actually not used for cooking or drinking, and therefore it's reclassified. So at this point, out of those 70, every single one of those outlets have been rectified, either repaired, replaced, and retested to show that results are below the 5 part per billion, or otherwise removed or reclassified. So Sachem District currently has no outlets that exceed the action level. Looking forward, the next district-wide sampling is due in 2028, but until then, this is very much an active management program, meaning that all communication with the Department of Health, as they inform us of changes in their policies, we will update your policy. I'm sorry, I know policy is a strong word, but your procedures. The inventory will always be updated as needed, meaning as facilities adds or subtracts outlets as they normally do, the inventory will be maintained. Signage and education for those non-applicable outlets indicating which ones are not to be used for cooking or drinking needs to be also maintained. And the state health department website and the district website will always be kept up to date with the most current test results as needed. And that's a very brief synopsis of something we've been working on for several months now, but I'm happy to go over any questions and go into any further detail.
Great, thank you. I'll open it up for questions. Matthew?
When you say outlets, is that including like the new age water filling stations?
Yes. So those are included in the inventory and tested.
Go Steph and then Mike.
there was a report out in Newsday that got a lot of people upset. So this is letting our community know that our drinking water is now in a safe zone and always has been, but
Yes, the test results are a snapshot in time and is part of what the regulation requires. But that, what the news media reported on is self-reported data. They pulled information from that state HERDS database, which is all self-reported from districts across the island. So the information that they reported on is not a surprise to any of the schools that were reported about.
Mike?
Yeah, thanks for coming in on. I know it's pretty much short notice, but as Ms. Volpe mentioned, this came up in Newsday, so obviously the community has been interested in, not that the information hasn't been available, but it's a lot cleaner when you come and explain what our program is. I think you answered my question. I was going to ask you when the next cycle was, but now it's 3 years, so it'll be 2028 we would do this again, right?
Correct.
And until then, unless there's a new outlet added, that would be retested, right?
Correct.
Or any maintenance to other outlets. So they get retested if there's some maintenance to an outlet? Like
not necessarily maintenance, but if it's a replaced outlet or a new installation anywhere else, it would be tested before that's put into service.
Okay, thanks. So I think this was really good for the community to hear from us, right?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
On that topic, for example, athletics might reach out to me and say, hey, we really want to use this sink down, closer to the field to fill our water jugs. And that's when we'll go in and we'll install a filtration system and then we'll get it retested. So for example, something like that just happened. And pretty recently, sometimes within a couple of weeks, we're constantly updating those results on the website.
Okay, if we do something, we are testing it to make sure it's compliant before we let anybody drink the water out of it.
And that's what I mean by it's a very active
Right,
program.
right.
It's ongoing. It's not just stagnant for the next 3
And then do
years.
you come and you put an inventory tag on whatever is done, and that gets put right into the inventory of, right?
Correct.
Okay. So, thank you.
Just a quick question. Allison, could you go back a couple of slides? There was one slide you put up that said since COVID there's 300 and something right there. No.
Yes, the 575.
Five out of service since COVID. That they're not in service right now?
No, meaning that if you press the button, water will not come out.
And what did those fail or did they?
No, they since COVID, again, because of the hygienic reasons of closing those outlets down, many districts, yours included, have kept those out of service as you're providing adequate filtered water from your bottle fill stations and water coolers.
Okay, so they include water fountains as well.
Correct.
As far as our lease schools, are we responsible for testing those, Sequoia and Tecumseh? Or is that the responsibility of the tenant? And how did those schools do? Do we know? They were fine?
There was one issue with one of the rental, Tecumseh, as far as their timing of their reporting.
Okay.
Not an issue with, any lead outside of anything else. But that was not only not, our responsibility at Sachem, but also it wasn't even, our company that did the testing.
Okay. And then last, I guess my last question is, you find that there was a lot more of the ones that failed due to older buildings, older piping, older construction, or was it a kind of a mix?
No, because this has been the third cycle, we have a lot of history of test results. Back in 2016, when the law was enacted, there were other tests that were done to investigate piping and things like that. Really, the cause of an elevated fixture is time and temperature. The longer water sits in the outlet, the more likely there is for an elevation. So usually the ones that fail, they're not necessarily older buildings compared to new, but outlets that are just not used as often in the building as others.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Just to clarify, this was the first round where we were doing less than 5 parts per billion.
Correct. It's
Okay,
the
so-
first round with the new action level.
So even in those 70, you might have had some that were less than 15 that wouldn't have failed previously.
Correct.
So
And that's an important note, is that New York State public K through 12 schools have the strictest lead action level out of any other facility. For instance, your homes, your favorite restaurant, anything other than a K through 12 public school has a level of 15 parts per billion still, where in this facility it would be 5 parts per billion.
okay, because when I first saw the number, I went, geez, that's over 20%. But then I realized you were actually looking for a much lesser number.
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions? Great. No, thank you very much. And Mike, I
you.
appreciate you bringing this up. I think it was you who suggested we have this. So thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. Michelle, I think we're turning it to you, right? This is Michelle's favorite time of the year. She gets excited. We're jumping into budget presentations.
My feelings don't get hurt so when everybody leaves. Okay, so the first official budget presentation was actually scheduled for February 4th, but since the state did come out with the executive budget run, we're just providing a quick update here. So we're just going to review state aid, our tax levy, and a brief overview of our expenditure codes. At our next meeting, we really will start going in depth and doing our line by lines. So yesterday, school districts did receive the state aid runs from the executive budget proposal, and they are exactly as we presented them in December with that budget update. So there were no surprises there. It's based on current law. So we are, and it's important to note here, you see they both columns say executive budget proposal. For the 25-26 budget cycle, New York State didn't adopt their budget prior to Sachem adopting our budget. We had to stick to our date, but the New York State budget was late. So all of our budget figures were based on the governor's proposal because that's all we had at that time. That's why you see both of them say executive budget proposal. So we are seeing an increase budget to budget in our foundation aid. We are what they call on formula now that formula has been running for a few years, unlike many of our neighboring districts that are on what they call hold harmless or a due minimum. In prior years, that due minimum was a 3% increase. School districts were guaranteed to get at least 3% in foundation aid. This year, the due minimum is 1%. So if you look at this chart and you see Sachem budget to budget is looking at a 4% increase in our foundation aid, but we do have other aid categories that are decreasing. So when I did take a look at some of the neighboring districts' state aid runs, with a 1% increase in foundation aid, we have many of our neighboring districts seeing a negative state aid going into the next school year. So based on the executive proposal. So we're actually seeing a budget to budget of 3.4 million. The only item that changed from the December presentation is the UPK number. They were using more of a actual usage number for the district. This is our new budgeted amount for the upcoming school year. And I put it at the bottom after the total number in between the two totals because UPK funds are not part of the general fund. That does not go towards our general fund budget. It doesn't do anything to close our budget gaps. That's accounted for in what's called our special aid fund and can only be used for our UPK program. So any questions on state aid?
Yeah. So Michelle, real quick. So in essence, 2.45% increase. And what's the current inflation rates? Do you know offhand? I don't want to put you on the spot, but
It was, as of December for the 2025 calendar year, it was 2.7%.
2.7. So we're still under inflation.
Correct. And that 2.7 is also going to factor into the tax levy.
Yeah. Okay.
Which here's the tax levy. I will go into more detail on the actual calculation and all the components of it when we do the full budget presentation next week, in 2 weeks. But we did receive all of the data that we need to calculate our levy. And it comes up as a 2.3729% increase over the 25-26 school year. And that is considered within the tax cap. And I'll go over that 13-step formula where 2% is only one data component out of 13 that go into calculating this. But we are seeing it's a $5.1 million increase budget to budget, levy to levy, I should say, or 2.3% increase. And we were limited to the lesser of 2% or CPI, which is 2% because it was 2.7 this year. Okay. Other revenues, we are seeing a decrease in our projections for other revenues, and that's mostly driven by interest rates. We're starting to see interest rates come down, so we are earning less on our money that we have on deposit. And we're also seeing lower premiums on our borrowings. So that's why we're seeing a $500,000 decrease in our other revenues. For expenditures, this is where we are right now. We still have a lot of work to do on the expenditure budget, but this is just kind of everything is in the pot right now, and we have to do our line by lines, and we're still waiting for, obviously a lot of estimates to still come in, but this is all of our codes where we're projecting them as of right now. And you'll see that we're looking at a 3.4% increase budget to budget, or $12.9 million increase over the current year. This chart just breaks everything down by their the largest expenditure categories. And if you look at the last column on the right where it says percent of budget, that's that where does a dollar go in the district that I had sent in your board packets a couple weeks ago. If you look at it as if we were $1, 46.95 cents of every dollar goes towards our salaries. 26 cents of every dollar goes towards our employee benefits. And that just, down the line for the entire budget. So that was, I know the board had asked that on a prior time to show, how we use a dollar. So any questions on that?
No, so just a quick math, we're about 73% is really salaries and benefits.
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
Okay.
And I'll go into more detail with it, but when we look at our revenues, and I've said this before, about 96% of our revenues are dictated by state formulas that are given to us that we have no control over. We have to work within our state aid numbers that the governor tells us, and that's all based on formulas. And we have to work with a tax levy within that tax levy cap, unless you're looking to do a supermajority and pierce it. And those two items are about 96% of our revenues.
Michelle, where is the renting the gyms, fields, and the auditorium that we started
Those are all
doing?
in our other revenues. If you look at that chart, and I could break those out
We
in
didn't
more
get there yet?
detail. It's under the rental of property. You'll see it's $2 million we're projecting.
Oh, it
for-
is in there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Michelle, just a quick question on benefits. Can you just break that down for everybody? So that's actually healthcare?
It's a variety of benefits. It's the health insurance, which really makes up the majority of it. Our health insurance premiums went up just under 9% for the 2026 calendar year. But in total, health insurance is about $50 million of our budget. And then there's another $9 million for opt-out payments
Right.
for staff members that choose not to take the insurance. We give an incentive for
Right.
them not taking the insurance. Also in there are our employer contributions towards retiree benefits. It's the teacher's retirement system and the employee's retirement system. You also have your disability insurances, and then that's all of your payroll taxes. You have your FICA, your Medicare is in there, and that's pretty much.
And that's all in benefits?
It's all in
Yeah,
benefits,
okay.
yes.
Thank you.
Okay. So, and this chart, just to give a quick summary of how it looks, if you see our revenues, state aid, other revenues, and the tax levy, we're at about $375 million in revenues. And the chart we just looked at for expenditures, we're at $393.9 million in expenditures. So that leaves an $18.5 million gap before any conversations about fund balance or use of reserves. So that these are conversations that we'll be having as we go through the budget development process. So any questions on that?
I'll open it up to the board. Any questions? Mike?
So Michelle, let's just look at this slide first. So right now you're saying we were going to be 18.589 million short. However, you are right now running a tally on what the fund balance could look like, barring a major snowstorm that eats up all your overtime. But last year that was $11.9 million, 11.904, right?
And then we used reserves
Well,
for 1.75.
No, the question I was going to ask you is right now, without holding it to a number, give me a round obtuse number of what that unassigned fund balance could look like, or what's left over at the end of the year.
At the end of the year, the first projection we just completed, we're somewhere between the 12 and $13 million range.
Okay, so that said, nothing else changing. you're looking at us to try to close about a $5 or $6 million gap.
Correct, which is similar to prior year.
Right. So that's going to be the hurdle, right? Most likely in that range, $5 to $6 million hurdle. Now, I don't know what else you could cut. I guess you're going to look at the expenditures, right? See,
As we get, updated information, we did get our new nicer insurance rates in just this week. So there's still information coming in, and we're still fine tuning all of the projections that we have in there. We haven't heard yet about retirees. So once we
Right.
start getting, definites for retirees, we'll take those individuals out, and then we work with administration to see positions that can be attritioned, or if we have to replace who we're replacing, and we'll factor all of that in. And then there's a trickle down with the benefits that go along with that.
okay, so our starting point is where we just talked about. Okay.
Good, Rob.
Shell, when do we find out as far as any money that's returned from BOCES as unanticipated revenue? Last year was quite a bit of money. When do they release that information?
We should be getting that around February.
February?
Yes,
So that's when they let us know?
And BOCES will always tell us that we're not supposed to budget that because it's not guaranteed. But in the past couple of years, it has been a significant refund. We do budget approximately $750,000, and we did receive $2.2 million last year. And we were told in the fall to expect more than that for this year. So
You were told we may expect more than 2.2 million.
correct. So that will go towards that that surplus.
Was
at
that
end
part of
the
the
year.
12 or 13 that you threw out to Mike?
Not yet.
No. That's different. That's above and beyond.
Yes.
Is that money we can use for anything? Or is
Yeah,
it
that goes back into
Back in the
fund
fund
balance when
balance.
we close the books at the
We
end
can
of the year.
offset
So yes.
the delta.
That 5 million now becomes 3.
I did have other questions, but my age is starting to, it'll come back to me.
Any other questions? Me or Daniel, any questions about the budget? You sure? Okay. Okay. All right.
It's not going.
Well, thank you, Michelle. Anything else, or you're good?
Yeah, no, we just, on February 4th will be the next full presentation, and we'll dive a lot deeper into
Yep.
it.
Great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Andy, anything else?
No, I was actually just thinking that poor Dan and Mia had to sit through all of this. We probably should have flipped the order and let them gone first in front of all their friends and peers.
They looked excited on the budget stuff. Come on. Okay. All right. Well, that actually good segue, right? So we can move on. Let's go to item C, student board member report. Last week we started with East, so let's start with North today.
Yeah. So first, how's everyone doing? Good. Yeah. So, yeah, first I'd like to backtrack. About 2 weeks from today, on January 8th, we had 20 AP Capstone Diploma recipients recognized. And these are some of Station North's best and most hardworking students. And they took a 2-year AP course that culminated in their AP exam, which if they scored a 3 or higher, they get a seal on their diploma. So really cool for them and a great recognition, and just shows how hard they work. So next we have, our wrestling team. They're wrestling today in our gym right now probably. And they're wrestling against either Sachem East or Brentwood. I'm not sure who won that first game, which happened at 4:30. But they're undefeated in dual meets, and they're number 1 in the county, and we're hoping that they can take one home for us this year. And, finally, this week, it's been our midterm week, and it's really just been a great week for our students and teachers, a great change of pace, and a week I really enjoy. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. Thanks. Okay. All right, Mia, you're up.
Hello, how's everyone doing?
Good.
Is this working? Okay. So first off, I wanted to also mention we honored our capstone diploma right before break. Like it was on. I know we talked about it at that meeting before break, and then specifically with student government, as I mentioned last meeting when I talked about the ALS Ride for Life, we have raised so far. It's only been open for 2 weeks, the fundraiser, and we've already raised $347, which is mostly from one donor who's been putting his name out there and having friends and family donate on his behalf, because our top donor will get bought lunch by student government. So we decided on a date. So our Ride for Life is going to be May 21st. So we have from now until May to reach our goal of $7,000, which was last year. We reached over that. So we're really hoping for more, but we're really trying to reach that goal. And then additionally, Mr. Lemke and his volunteer club have started collecting donations for the Super Bowl, which is like SOUPER, Super Bowl, because they're collecting soup cans and mac and cheese, and it's a race against North, actually. I'm not exactly sure who runs that in North, but we'll see who wins by the actual Super Bowl. And then additionally, Mr. Lemke and his other advisor, they've been running senior trip right now, so we're in full swing. Everyone's planning their buses, planning their rooms, putting deposits down, and we're all figuring that out right now. Everyone's very, very excited.
Cool.
And our senior trip is April 17th to the 19th. So
Great. That'll be a great trip. So, all right. Thank you, Mia. Thanks, guys. Any questions for our students? Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. All right. Takes us to item D, approval of minutes from the last meeting. Can I have a motion, please? Motion by Matthew, second by Steph. Questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Allison takes us to visitors. Any visitors? Okay. Section 3, action items. Can I have a motion, please? Motion by Rob, second by Stephanie. Questions? Comments? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. And just as a side note, that was the discussion we had, I think, at the last board meeting on the open public forum about the real property tax exemption. So I know there were some visitors here over the past couple of months. So just want to let you know that we passed that tonight. Section 4, business items, consent agenda A through E. Can I have a motion, please? Motion by Steph, second by Mike. Questions or comments? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Section 5, personnel teachers, consent agenda A through O. Can I have a motion, please? Motion by Steph, second by Matthew. Questions or comments? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Section 6, personnel support staff, consent agenda A through I. Can I have a motion, please? Motion by Jess, second by Rob. Questions or comments? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Section 7, contracts, consent agenda A through G. Can I have a motion, please? Motion by Mike, second by Meredith. Questions or comments? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Section 8, budget transfers. Can I have a motion, please? Motion by Rob, second by Mike. Questions, comments? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Section 9, donations, consent agenda A through B. Can I have a motion, please? Motion by Mike, second by Jessica. Questions or comments? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Section 10, Committee on Special Education. Can I have a motion, please? Motion by Matthew, second by Jessica. Can I have questions or comments? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Section 11, monthly reports. Do we have any reports? Meredith. And this is legislative or?
Diversity.
Diversity, okay.
So tonight we had a diversity meeting, and we're continuing on our community event, which is on Saturday, the 28th of March from 12 to 4. It embraces all the different cultures that are represented here at Sachem. It's a really great day. It's got dancing, it's got music, it's got food, just a really great community event. And we're also working on getting information more streamlined for people who are new to the district. That's going really well. And since using Parent Square, we have a 98% contact rate, which is very robust. Most districts have about a 90%, so we're doing really well there. Of that 98% contact rate, 99% receive texts. We have over 14,000 parents that are being informed by that, and 86% receive email. So we're doing really well with Parent Square. So kudos. I believe Sabrina actually brought it up a few years ago because she said it was a good venue, and I think it's doing really well. I think it's probably the best communication that we've had.
It's a Board of Ed adding value. Way to go, Sabrina.
Sabrina might have been in her ear a little bit about Parent
Yeah,
Square.
just
Once
a
we
little
started
bit.
talking about, she couldn't stop talking about it. But
I think she has stock in the company, but
she might. She might.
Well, the reality is when it came into play in my district, I was the biggest naysayer. Like, we don't need another, and I am on it it's the easiest thing in the world, and it's just it ups your communication. My principal's always like, "Do you know how many of those you send out a week?" And posts that you could send to each class individually. It's so useful. And once you learn it, you realize how quick and easy it is to just communicate with parents and your sports teams, etc. So I'm glad that the district went in that direction.
Just to add on to what Meredith was talking about that percentage rate of how we're contacting families, Parent Square actually shared with us that they've never seen that high of a percentage rate out of a school district, especially in their first year using it.
That's great.
Especially such a large district.
It's, yeah, exactly. And that doesn't just happen just with Parent Square. That's kudos to Mr. Vaccaro with our social media platform, reaching out to get information out, which then directs them back. And then Mr. Renda and his team doing such a great job of communicating with Parent Square, learning things that we had no idea would even do, and putting them into play. Just even with our half-day Thanksgiving, putting out lunch surveys where the surveys, instead of a Google form, you could fill that out over and over again. Through Parent Square, it's pre-populating specifically to each student, so parents don't have to fill things out. They just have to click yes or no and submit, and we get accurate information directly linked to our students.
Fantastic. Jess?
Just some feedback I've received from the community. Not all secondary teachers are messageable on Parent Square, and parents are saying they're having a very difficult time finding the emails and way to contact them. So I don't know if there's any way to just elementary. It's great. I get heavy communication. I think out of all my daughter's secondary teachers, only one of them I could actually message through Parent Square. So I've heard that feedback from several parents.
Okay. Good feedback.
Thank you.
Okay. Great. Anything else, Meredith? Nope. Great. Thank you. Steph?
Yeah.
Legislative committee, I would assume.
Legislative committee is kicking it. Like this team is the best I think I've ever seen in Sachem, and it's a lot of information. You know, personally, I can't speak for Meredith that I didn't realize on how the government works and stuff like that. With that said, we pick dates to go to Albany. We have the roundtable date. So I wanted to put that out to the board. February 27th, 11 a.m. would be the legislative roundtable. What that is in the past, we used to do a community forum, and it would get a little bit like people would come in and address issues that were personal, not school district related. So like, you know, if there was a dog running around their neighborhood, they'd come in and say, hey, we need this dog taken care of. The roundtable, which we started last year or the year before, had we have one or two? It's a face-to-face with Sachem specific issues, and we will invite our local electeds, and branch out. You know, usually our local electeds are the ones that come. You know,
Steph, you said that was February 27th?
February 27th.
So that's a Friday?
Yes,
Yeah.
11
Okay.
a.m.
11 a.m. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
We are going to invite everybody like we do every year to our forum or the roundtable. And, you know, who comes.
Are we keeping it at 11 a.m.?
We had the discussion to keep it at 11 a.m.
Okay.
The year previously was 6:30 at night.
Yeah.
We're trying during the day because some of the electeds would rather not come out on the
So
night.
it's easier for their schedule for the day.
And understandable, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? So we're hoping to get more fish with this time. We'll see how successful it is. We can only try.
And we'll have like a representative from PTA, a representative from
Yes,
CTA.
the teachers union. We're inviting everybody. I
Right.
just wanted to
All
get the date approved, if you guys are good with that, and then we'll send it district wide. Obviously, administration will also invite who they would like to invite.
Are we capping like the number of people? Because I know it was more of a smaller group last time, right? If I remember.
Only because that's who RSVP'd to come.
Okay.
We would like it to be bigger.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because it would address more issues. And I have to say, even small, it was productive last year. Like there's legislation now for TAN borrowing that's jumped from our own community, which I know our local electeds are working on, to other parts of the state.
Right.
That I don't know. I don't want to take credit that it was our idea, but it was our
Yeah,
idea.
we've been pushing that for a while. So,
It was
yeah.
from
And
that
we've been
round
discussing
table.
it. So somewhere, some way, it went telephoned, and it's
Dean Murray took on from
Right.
that round table. We told him how important it was.
Right.
and he went and rolled with it.
Yeah. And you know, I like to see that because it means that we're not just spinning our wheels. They're actually listening. So if more people could come to listen, that's great. Do we expect a huge turnout? No. You know, it is Albany season. They're driving up to Albany and then they come home. Do they
Yeah.
want to come to meetings? And especially if we're casting a big net. Do we expect the governor to show up? No. Do we expect maybe her representative? Yes.
Okay.
So there's that. We have been having a whole bunch of different meetings with elected officials. There's going to be representatives of PTAs at the state level, regional level. We've been casting a huge net to try to get people to advocate with us. So it's been pretty successful. PTA Council wanted us to do a presentation. I just felt we're still in the planning stages of a lot, and their meeting is tomorrow? Yeah. So they're going to give a statement, and then sometime in March, we're going to, March or April, depending on how our next two projects go, we'll give them an update after our Albany trip, which we picked a date of March 24th. I'm volunteering my 8-passenger Honda Pilot to go up. Everybody in the committee but one wants to go. So we figured we would break, and not the last one who doesn't want to go is going with her school district because she works for a school district. So she's going to advocate, you know, with them too. So we figured we would break up into threes, and then those groups of 3 will make their own appointments with elected. So it's not, we're going to be covering from the top floor all the way down as many people as we could see that day to advocate on behalf of Sachem.
So a couple of things, right? So do you need us to talk about the 227? I mean, it's really the committee, but does anybody have an issue with that from the board? I mean,
What's 227?
The
Oh, no,
February
no.
27th.
Yeah, you know.
we're good.
No, we're good. We
Okay, that's
actually
good.
had that floating before.
Yeah.
It's just
Okay.
that now I talked to the committee. We were having a discussion on whether we wanted to move it tonight.
Yep.
And,
Okay.
you know,
And then with regards to the Albany trip, I'll just throw it out to the board, right? Since they're advocating on behalf of us, we should probably understand what they're actually going to say and what they're going to deliver, I would imagine, right? I know this you guys are doing a lot, but do we want them to come into a meeting and present to us?
we
what-
have the packet.
Okay.
We're focusing on the
On the
packet.
packet? Okay.
Yeah, the packet that we sent to Albany.
Yeah.
Those will be, unless there's a pressing issue you guys want us to work on in addition. So if we want to review the packet, if the board wants to
No, I
review
think
the
board-
packet again.
Yeah, I mean, the board, everybody liked the packet, right?
I
think
mean,
everybody's
you
in
know,
agreement, right? So-
one of the things that we have a lot of issues,
You think?
and I would love to go do more. It's just
I know.
maybe
We got to
if-
pick and choose. We got to
well,
pick and
and
choose the high
also
priority
if we
ones.
can get all 3 teams
Focused
all-
on different things.
No, if we can get into every single appointment made, we might have. What I've learned through this year is there are certain committees up there that work on certain things.
Okay.
So if we get into a committee that might be out of packet, but another issue, say a charter that's dealing with the charter schools, or you know, building aid, or whatever they're working on, we could come back to the board and say, hey, we want some bullet points to talk to X, Y, and Z about. One of the other things we wanted to do is keep everybody engaged and valuable. We have a lot of strong people on that committee, and every single one of them has given some point of value, even if it's what we think is small, but stuff Merritt and I didn't know previously. So it's been really, really amazing. Let me think. There's nothing new,
Okay.
except for that planning. The one thing I did want to ask, again, and I look at the attorney, sorry, not me, I won't put in, but if we need one of the families to drive, I stress at night that they have to pay for the tolls, the gas, everything. I don't mind paying for it. Is there a way they could get reimbursed because they're going up to advocate for Sachem?
I can look into that and get back to
Okay.
the superintendent.
Yeah,
and
I
communicate
wouldn't
that
submit
advice to the
for it,
board.
but I don't
Okay.
want to put it on. I'm most likely going to need it's a feather. 2 more cars to go. And I hate asking them to do it out of, if it's going to be a financial hardship, I don't know. And in this economy, this popped into my head, after our meeting late. And, I figured I'd throw it out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely look into it and get back to you.
Yeah,
within the
also
next
if
couple
there's any
days.
liability things that we need
Right.
to be
Is it
concerned about
cost-efficient for tolls?
if they're conducting business on our behalf, right? So,
I'm glad Matt just said that. Matt might want to go, but if all of you are invited as well, if you want to come, please, you can get in the pilot or hitch on the back. I don't know. But yeah, if any of the board wants to go,
doesn't
it's
Amtrak go
open.
right up to Albany, right?
It could. I should look into that as well. That might be easier.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's my report. It's been I
No,
don't
you
know.
guys,
if you can
it's
tell.
fantastic. You
It's
guys
been
doing a
great.
great job. I think this committee again is probably one of the more engaging ones I've seen in a while. So
Yeah.
this is great.
Yeah. No, it's been
So,
awesome.
good. Okay. Any other committees or go ahead, Sabrina? Yep.
So Matthew and I attended curriculum council today. So Matthew, if I forget anything, please chime in. They first gave us some updates about some professional development that's going on in the district. There's a program called Writing Revolution, which is helping the teachers help the students become better writers, especially with the ENL groups. They talked about some middle school math data that analyzing that's been going on. Then we got an update about the Nassau BOCES social studies. They also told us that with our discussions about the financial literacy and the climate change, that's going to have to be put into place, that BOCES has updated their curriculum, I think specifically for K to 5, where, through middle school and high school would have to be, I guess, be more specific of where that's going to be placed. They spoke about some ENL professional development and talking about iReady passage reading fluency. Jack Rendo was there to talk about the New York State technology plan and the survey that went out. And that's it. And then I had to leave because I had to come here. They were still meeting. They were taking a look at we're preparing for the 250th anniversary of America. So there were some links that they gave us that we were able to peruse, and then they were breaking into groups to discuss. But unfortunately, I don't know if you left at that point too. I ended up having to leave, so I don't know where that went. So just a lot of great discussion going on with curriculum and what professional development and things like that that's going on in the district right now. I just have to say that Danielle and Marie are doing a fabulous job leading the curriculum in this district, and it's just really great to see that progress that's happening there.
Oh, thanks, Sabrina. That's great to hear as well. Good. Okay. Any questions for Sabrina or Matt? Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. Great updates. Okay. We'll move on. Section 12. Any visitors, Allison, for closing comments? Okay. Section 13, old business. I don't think we have anything for tonight to discuss, right? And we have no board discussion items for tonight, which takes us to future. You got a future? Oh,
It's, I guess, I don't know if if we got a chance to look at the survey, the potential survey that we were considering doing for the community. He had sent it out, Andy.
No, I'm sorry. When did that go out? Oh,
Yeah.
Must.
Google form.
Yeah, it's a Google form that went out to your Sachem Google accounts. Yeah.
Yeah, about 3 weeks ago. It was before the
I can
holidays.
I can
had a
resend
hard-
it, or I can actually I can also put it in Friday's packet just as an attachment so that you can review it that way as well.
And you waiting for us to approve it before you send it
It
out?
was
or
really
it's
just
review feedback?
we needed to get something down on paper, so we had a
Yeah.
starting point to open up discussion.
We voted on the idea of
Right.
putting one together.
They
but
were
we
going to
did not-
prepare it, and we haven't
and
really
vote
gone
on
through it.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to put that on one of the board meetings so we can move that along, or just to?
I think after we all get a chance to look at it.
Yeah,
we'll
so
have
if I can
revisit
include it in the Friday packet, I'll include it for everyone so that you have time to review it. It is sitting, if you don't know how to get onto your Sachem Google account, it just email me or call me.
I'll be emailing you 'cause I
All
always
right,
have a challenge.
and I can help you get on there.
Between that and my personal, it just.
Yeah, and especially if you've been on that account before, we can take care of, resetting everything so you can get back on. I know you probably don't use that account very often, but it was easier with a Google Doc to send it that way. But it really is just a starting point. We used a couple of other districts that have put out surveys as kind of a rough draft.
Great, thanks. Okay. future items for discussion. Anything else, guys? Or go ahead, Mike.
I guess we need to have the administration give us an update on the North Pool.
Yeah, I think we were going to maybe get an update tonight, right? We could probably.
Yeah, put it on the next agenda.
Okay. Great. Anything else? Okay. All right. Go ahead, Jess.
I stand corrected. There is a way to find everyone to message on Parent Square. It just wasn't intuitive to me, but she just showed me, so I know that there's going to be parent classes and like tip sheets. So
Teacher right next to you.
it is. I looked everywhere, and she showed me in 2 seconds. So it is. They are accessible.
Okay. Great. All right. Anything else? All right. At this time, I need a motion to go into exec session for the purpose of discussing a personnel matter as well as contracts discussions. Motion by Jess, second by Steph. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.